Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we dive into the mind-numbing world of SEC filing so you don't have to. Today we're cracking open Red Metal Resources' latest Form 20F annual report. Will we find buried treasure or just more red ink? Let's find out before we get started. If you like getting the straight scoop from corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and join our Discord community where we talk about this stuff with other crazy people like us. That's linked in the description below. Red Metal Resources, a small mineral exploration company focused on copper and gold in Chile and now Canada, just dropped their yearly report, the short version. They're still searching for that big strike and they're burning through cash while they do it. We'll dig into the key numbers, see what's changed, and figure out if there's any actual metal behind all the red. First off, the report covers the year ending January 31, 2025. So what's the big picture? As always, it contains forward-looking statements, meaning they're making guesses about what's going to happen. It talks about commodity prices, exploration, and costs, but also notes they are not responsible for updating this report if things change. In short, everything they say next is a maybe, and you should not rely on any of these as factual. Also important is a note to United States investors, since the way things are done in Canada can be different. This section basically warns you that just because they say they have resources, don't assume that's the same as proven reserves, ready to be mined. It's all still potential, not guaranteed money in the ground. As a foreign private issuer, they get some exemptions from SEC rules, meaning less info is public than a US company might provide. And this is the real problem. Their operating cash flow is negative. They earned no revenue, and the net loss from operations totaled almost $900,000. If they don't find money, they could be in big trouble. They are burning through cash, and if they can't find more, it's game over. The company owes a lot of money to related parties, people they know, including about $630,000 payable soon for services and $2 million under various loans that could be paid off soon. To do this, they will need to issue shares of company stock, which will make all current shares of stock worth less. The company states that other parties could challenge the company's claims, and if that happens, the company could lose the claims or have to pay for lengthy and costly legal battles. After doing exploratory operations on the Farallon project in 2022 and 2023, they just commenced an extensive sampling and mapping work program designed to follow up on veins that might extend along strike from the historic Carrizal Alto mine. It's a good sign they're getting back to work to find something. Then there is the acquisition of two new projects, Point Piche and Larder Lake. The terms of the deal were $5,000 to issue up to 1,000 common shares for Larder Lake. No royalties. This is a pretty cheap way to get some new claims, and Oven shares for Larder Lake. No royalties. This is a pretty cheap way to get some new claims. Okay, but what properties do they own? And here the list is long, and mostly in Chile. The Carrizal property, made up of the Farallon and Perth project areas, is located about 700 kilometers north of Santiago, Chile. They have access to the area and they state they own all the concessions there. Now for the bad news, the property has NSR, or net smelter return royalties, to other parties. What this means is that if they find any minerals and sell it, they have to pay a portion of that to someone else. Some of these have a buyback clause that allows Red Metal to pay a one-time fee to be released from the royalty. There's one interesting one at the bottom, but most seem to be 2.5%. That means 2.5% of anything they sell is not theirs. Also, part of the Farallon Alto property runs through a national park in Chile. They have to get approval to explore in that area. There are old records from as far back as the 1940s on these claims that appear very promising from other companies showing grades, but as always, these have to be verified. Oliver Resources explored the Farallon property back in 1990 with some samples, and the best number they reported on the Farallon property was 1350 G2 and L.68% Co. and L.68% Co. Later, between 1996 and 1997, another drilling program hit some gold, copper and cobalt to a vertical depth of over 200 meter. Scroll UTM Coordinates did their own reverse circulation drill program in 2009, did manage to confirm that they had previously found in the 90s. There was another drilling program in 2011 consisting of a mix of methods with results that had copper as high as 8.86% Ketu, with 0.80 G GOTO over 1M. More interesting, they could go deeper than their previous work. After 2011, a sampling and mapping program in 2012 showed more copper sulfide from 19 to 465 ppm Co, and from 0.022 287 GTFUO, Then from 2014, they allowed a local miner to dig in the claim, which resulted in finding material of roughly 1.6% copper, 5.8 chapte, and 0.21 GTR. But there is a non-NI 43 Theos 101 resource estimate from before 2001 on the property, but no matter how accurate, it means they don't have a current resource estimate. Their new claims in Canada are in an area around Ville-Marie, Quebec and Larder Lake Mining Division of Ontario, with 7 separate packages and covering 4,546 hectares. Most of the applications are approved and hopefully this will yield something for them too. Now let's look at their numbers quickly. For the fiscal years ended January 31, 2025, 2024 and 2023, a few things stand out. First, liabilities are at $3,071 in 1998. Compare this against their assets and you'll see they are significantly in trouble. Assets, in contrast, are $1,354,430, $1,410. The increase in asset value and decrease in asset value can be attributed to their investments in mineral properties. Their cash flow decreased by about half from 2023 to 2024, but then increased by over 10 times from 2024 to 2025, which is a good sign. They need that cash. It says in this table, Richard Jeffs, Caitlin Jeffs and Joao da Costa will get royalties from sales if they ever happen. Important here is that per Chilean law, these agreements aren't legally fully set up unless registered in Chile. They did not do this, meaning any future royalties arising from sale is not secured to any of them unless registered. Environmentally, nothing major to report, but a future mine could cause them a headache, so there's some risk there. Also, their property passes through a national park, so that has its own potential issue. Their VP of exploration has to be sure what they are doing, given they may or may not strike any more silver or gold, but they seem to have found some resources from mining from 1994 to 1997, meaning it might be possible they will strike gold at the Irene mine, but we'll need to monitor the company's claim to ensure it actually happens. So what's the final verdict on Red Metal Resources? They're a risky bet, that's for sure. On one hand, they have interesting properties in a proven mining area, with hints of valuable minerals from past exploration. On the other hand, they're low on cash, high on debt to insiders, and still just exploring. They need to either strike it big or find a serious partner to get these projects moving. The new Canadian properties give some new options, but it's a long shot. If you found this deep dive helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more corporate breakdowns. Don't forget to join our Discord community in the description below to discuss your own insights. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.